bitches.
Broadcast.
Hello and welcome to the broadcast with Amanda, Shandy, and Colleen. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is season 6, episode 19, episode number 244. How is it going?
Good. Yeah. I'm in my pajamas.
I'm in half of my pajamas.
Yeah. I feel like I might always podcast in pajamas now. I don't know why I haven't thought to do this sooner.
I truly don't know why you haven't thought to do that sooner.
Yeah. This is feeling pretty cozy.
I think I pretty much always podcast in pajama bottoms.
Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
I podcasted in my full-on flannel jammies last winter, and you guys were like, "Are you in your pajamas?" And I was like, "I sure am," and I don't know any regrets about it. It's
now I see the ways. Yeah, no more.
Especially for you guys, it is like already past bedtime.
I know.
Yeah, lately I've been trying to be in bed at this point in the night.
We'll try to keep it quick. Amanda, have you been getting more sleep? Is Eden doing better over the last 2 weeks?
Yes, we are back to sleeping through the night. Excellent. I had my first dream this week in a long time, which means I'm actually getting REM sleep, so that's a big improvement.
That is exciting.
You can't dream if you're not getting REM sleep, so that's great.
Nice.
But I think the lack of sleep has compounded so long that, like, I feel like it hasn't quite caught up yet. I still feel like
you'll never catch up.
Yeah, I still feel like I'm just never sleeping.
No, I went to bed after the time change, I went to bed at like 10:15 at night and slept until like 7:15 the next morning, which my body would have thought, was a lot of sleep.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
I had never been more tired in my entire life.
Yeah. Well, see, there is also that. I have this theory, if you sleep too long, then you start going in the opposite direction and then you start getting tired again.
Yeah.
But there's like a sweet spot of how much sleep
I know
you as a person need.
And the shitty thing about like my sweet spot is that it tends to be 6 hours, and I want to sleep for more than 6 hours, so that always makes me sad.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, because I'll wake up on my own after 6 hours and be okay, but be like, it's cold, I'm comfy, I don't want to get up right now. If I get up, Alex will wake up, and then I'll have to entertain a kid an hour earlier than I want to. And, I'll go back to sleep, and then an hour later, I'm like, oh, I feel tired. I probably should have just gotten up.
That's a real phenomenon. Yeah. That happens to me, too.
Yeah.
I totally get that. Yeah, that there's like a time in the night where like I automatically wake up and I feel kind of alert, but it's like, it's too early. The sun's not up yet. I'm going to go back to sleep.
Right.
And then I wake back up, and then I feel like I've been hit by a truck. Mm-hmm. And you're like, well...
Yeah.
Well, that didn't go the way I thought.
The struggle. It's real. It's real.
It is so real. It's a little comforting to know that someone else has that.
Oh, yeah. I've struggled with this a lot over the last year, especially like when we were at home, where I'd be like, why? I'm not getting up now. I don't have to drive anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Although I will say I am enjoying the return of a commute, even if it is just dropping off and picking up my kid from daycare.
Oh, so she's officially in daycare.
She has been. This is our first week where like she's doing like her actual hours.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
The first week we were doing like these sort of short days.
Yeah.
And kind of easing her in. And then last week was the second week of kind of easing her in. So she was going longer, but she was still like, we were picking her up at like 4:30 every day. So I was sort of ending my work day very early with the idea that like, oh, after she goes to bed, I'll go back to work.
Yes.
Or like, we'll get home and like, I'll go back to work.
Yeah.
No, we just roll right through bedtime and then.
and then it's happy hour and you're like, well, forget that.
Right. At that point. Even now, like to sit down to record, my email was still up and I was like, no, I can't do that. Just don't have the mental stamina to handle it.
I had to drop my car off to get my tires rotated this morning. And I took the kids to school. I went to do the tire thing. They told me that my tires all need to be replaced, so they weren't going to rotate them. And I was like, well, I'm not dropping blah, blah, blah right now. So that was a waste of my time to go all the way down there. And all the way down there, I mean, it's next to the ABC store, guys. It's like, you know, a good 2.3 miles from my house. It's nothing.
Well, but still. I get it.
We're still in pandemic times. That's kind of far.
That is kind of far. Although people are starting to drive again this week, and, like, the traffic has gotten, not bad, but, like, steady. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, people.
Oh, see, that's New York City has been the opposite. Traffic has just gotten worse because people now are driving instead of taking public transit because they don't want to be with other people. So the traffic is just awful.
Okay, well, that's
like getting in and out of the city is just like a nightmare.
Yeah, that struggle is also real. But because there's no time in the day, and I, you know, didn't have time to do anything today, I'm sewing Alex's jacket that he ripped the sleeve in right now as we record this, because and full disclosure, I don't think I'm gonna be able to sew this. Looking at this seam, it was also Zachary's old coat, which Alex, you know, loved because it was Zach's, but he's also drew on it with marker. Because that's Alex, who tantrumed so hard yesterday that he threw up.
Oh no!
Or I guess it was Sunday.
Homeboy.
Yeah, he came. We came home from like our errands. He was screaming and tantruming and crying and didn't stop for a good like 10 minutes. And then he was next to me in the kitchen. And all of a sudden, I feel something hot and wet on my foot, and I'm like, so he was like, ah, like he was full on little kid, like and I guess he just started choking, maybe on spit. And he was like, because I heard him cough, like, and then it was like.
And we all learned a valuable lesson that day.
So then, you know, he was scared into not screaming for like a good 5 minutes, and like we cleaned him up, we cleaned the floor as he's in the shower. He's like, I'm sorry, Mommy. And I was like, don't be sorry, it happens. Because at first I was like, maybe he was tantruming because he didn't feel good. So I was like, does your tummy hurt? Does anything hurt? And he said no. So we were like, yeah, okay, definitely. That was what it was. But then, like, after he got out of the shower, he just went right back to screaming and throwing a fit, so it was all good.
It was just a little intermission.
Did we not? Did you just forget?
Oh, I don't know. He's going through something, whatever age, because right around the beginning of October, he started with this attitude, and, like, it's just been nonstop with it, and I'm like, oh my god. So, but here I am, trying to figure out how to sew this jacket, which I think I'm going to have to turn inside out. I might have to mute myself for that, because I don't know how this is going to go. But
where's the hole?
It's right on the seam, like, behind the sleeve.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's a big one.
It's a big one. And I was like, let's just get you a new coat, because I'm not going to be able to sew this for long enough, like, after I wash it, that it's going to rip again. But,
yeah, I would. Well, if it's all the way through, I would sew it from the inside.
It's not all the way through, which is a bummer.
Oh, shit.
I know.
But I'm sure, like, a seamstress or, like, whatever it's called.
For a $20 coat from Target?
Yeah, no.
They're going to charge me $20 to fix it. So I get a new coat.
Yeah. Well, do you have stick pins so you can kind of fold the edges in and, like, hold it for yourself while you sew up it?
I do, but they're upstairs, and I really don't want to take the time to go get them.
Oh, yeah, then just freehand it. Do that, like,
I'm gonna see,
you know, the running stitch where you, like, a stitch on the side, then you go over to the other side, then you go over the other side.
I'm going to do something like that. Anyway, Shandy, LA, you have to tell us all about your trip.
Yeah, so sorry that we took a week off, everyone. It was totally my fault. I realized, like, it wasn't even until we recorded last time that I was like, oh, right, next week I won't be here.
Yes, my awkwardly clumsy little interjection at the end, I came down and recorded, like, something. And that's why the audio sounds so different, because it was on my laptop. It wasn't even on this thing. I think the audio sounded better. Maybe I should just install the loopback program on my laptop and try to record that way. Anyway, so...
But yeah, I was definitely not going to be available on Tuesday, because on Tuesday I had my appointment at the French like embassy, not really embassy, but the consulate general, to become a dual citizen.
Yay!
And
Hooray.
so, yeah, can't do that like in San Francisco or somewhere closer. Got to go down to LA, but it was, it was a good excuse to go down to LA. And so I ended up leaving on Sunday and basically coming back on like Thursday. And then I worked on Friday, which I was kind of like, why did I not just take your week off?
Well,
but I did have some stuff
one more
I had
PTO day you can use somewhere else.
Exactly. But it was nice to be down in Southern California for a while. The interview, I think, went well. I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't expecting like a test of general knowledge of French culture, but that was part of it. Very different than the test that Franck took.
Really?
With the American Civics test.
Yeah.
Which what I love about that too is that they give you the list of 100 questions, so you know exactly what to study, and they're only going to ask you 10, but whatever, you can learn 100 questions.
Right.
For the French one, I really thought it was going to be like, making sure we're still married and maybe asking like my motivation and stuff like that. But the middle part was all about like basic French culture. And one of the questions that he asked was for me to name some French philosophers and then to name some French artists, which I just thought was so interesting because on the American test, certainly they did not ask for you to like name drop some American philosophers. But
are there any American philosophers?
yes. But I think we're maybe less obsessed with. I don't. Whatever. It's less a part of our identity, perhaps. Let's say it like that.
Right, because we have the great philosopher Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz.
Right.
Rush
Back to my original question: are there any real American philosophers?
What would do? I mean, I would argue the founding fathers wrote a lot of like philosophical shit. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, so I had that on Tuesday, and that's done. Now I have to wait up to 12 months. Like they have to send it off to basically like the State Department, the Ministry of the Interior, and that person is like, the final deciding factor. The guy said that he was sending a positive recommendation, so fingers crossed.
Oh, yay!
But
did you tell them that you're an actress and that you were on Big Little Lies and that should count for something?
My guest starring turn.
Yeah, no, but it was interesting because like I had to take a French test as a whole part of this process, but then the interview was like also he was like verifying my level of French, and like I don't know how you could have gotten through that interview if you didn't speak pretty decent French. So like, why did I pay $200 to take a test, bro?
Right.
That's my question. Like one of the questions was like, okay, so like the French values, like liberty, fraternity, equality, and then like that's easy enough. And then he asked me like to define like for me like what is liberty. Like that's actually a rather like linguistically challenging question to answer if you want to do it well.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of just like also like a philosophically tough question to answer. Right. Alex asked me, what does freedom mean this morning? It's one of the first things he said to me. And I was like, oh, that's a good question for 6:38 in the morning.
Let's unpack that for a minute.
So you learned that one on Doc McStuffins, kid?
But so then while we were down there, we went to the Academy Museum. I'm forgetting the full title, but it's like a fairly new museum in LA about like film, like the Academy.
Oh yeah.
And that was fun. We were there for like 2.5 hours and would have needed way more, so we definitely have to go back, but that was cool. And then also I realized that the Obama portraits were at the LACMA because they are going on this tour to 5 different cities, and I believe they were in New York already.
They were in Brooklyn. I actually didn't know they had left Brooklyn until I saw your pictures. I was like, oh, I guess I missed my window. Don't worry, I saw them when they were in the National Portrait Gallery. I happened to be in DC visiting a friend of ours pre-pandemic, so I've seen them. They're beautiful. But yeah, you definitely have easier, because that was the thing too, is like, we can see them at the Smithsonian or whatever, the National Portrait Gallery.
but like it's not like that's not next door. So I don't know when exactly we'll be. I love DC, but I don't know when we'll be there next. So it was just a really fun coincidence. So then obviously we had to go. And that too, like we were trying to leave that day actually, but it was like, okay, we have to do this thing. And this is the earliest that we can get tickets to get in. And then we have to hit the road because there's going to be traffic. So we can only stay for like an hour. How do you stay at the LACMA for only an hour? So
strategize your game plan.
Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just, go back. It was my second time, I think, to the LACMA. And it's just, I mean, it's one of those museums that,
Is that stand for Los Angeles Museum of Art?
Los Angeles County Museum of Art.
Okay,
yeah.
LAC. Okay,
is that the one that's like up on the hill and it was like, it's got like a, oh gosh.
I think you're thinking
of the observatory.
Yeah, I am thinking
where
of that.
Adele had her awesome concert this past weekend.
Yeah, but there's a museum up there. Not the same.
The observatory. Okay, we might be thinking of different things. Because I don't think the observatory has really a museum, but there's the.
Maybe I'm thinking. Yeah, I must be thinking of something else. Then I went like a million years ago.
Like the. What's the Guggenheim one?
Yeah, I thought it was like an old mansion or something. So maybe that is what I'm thinking of.
Let me find this.
I went in college, so that was like literally 100 years ago. So sorry, my memory is a little rusty.
Yeah, no, I've been to, and I can't. I just like there are multiple. Okay, not the Guggenheim in New York, but it's something with that same family.
Somebody Google old museums in LA. I would do it, but I'm sewing. Sorry.
Museum on a hill.
Museum on a hill.
Sounds,
I know exactly
like
what you're talking about. I've been there.
Oh, so wait, LACMA is the one that has the like installation with all the like street lights, where like all like every recent rom-com has shot a scene there.
Perhaps, yes.
So the Getty. Maybe I'm thinking
Getty's.
Getty.
Yes, okay. I almost said Getty, and then I was like, no. I always confuse that with Guggenheim. What I mean is Guggenheim, but then no. Apparently, what I mean is Getty.
Or I might be, and I might also be like putting the Getty and the Griffith Observatory in the same.
Yes,
I might be just like thinking they're the same thing, and they're not.
Did anybody?
The observatory is really cool inside, but it's not like an art museum.
Right.
Did anybody watch the Adele special there this weekend? Speaking of, because it was awesome. I loved the fuck out of it. No, I totally recommend it.
I saw chatter about it, but I haven't seen it.
I have not. It was on Sunday night?
It was on Sunday on Paramount streaming, a.k.a. CBS, I guess. Oprah did the interviews in between in the same Rose Garden where she did Meghan and Harry's interviews. It was really great. It was great. Like, I think the highlight of it was she had this couple come and the woman was like completely blindfolded with noise-canceling headphones on. She had no idea where she was, and then like the boyfriend takes her on stage. They've been together for like 7 years or whatever, and it's dark, so she doesn't know where she is. She's like, who are these people? But she can't quite see that it's a crowd, and she doesn't know Adele is there, and like he proposes and she says yes, and then the lights come up and Adele is standing like 5 feet from her face, and she's just like, what? And like she looks at the crowd, she realizes where she is. She's like, and Adele wanted to perform for like all of her friends and family and neighbors, so there's like a shitload of famous people there in the audience. And she goes and sits in the front. She's like, sit in the front row, and she starts to sing To Make You Feel My Love. And then this woman, the look on her face when she realizes she's sitting next to Lizzo on one side and Melissa McCarthy on the other side, and Melissa McCarthy hands her this champagne, and she's just like, what the fuck? Like, you can just see her. She's like
into a puddle on the floor.
Amazing. I had to pull up the clip and after it was done to show Jay, because I was like, because her whole face is just like, oh my god. Like, yeah, it was a really cool. I thought it was a cool moment. Her voice sounds just as beautiful as ever. The interview was great. Like, she was very candid. She talked about her divorce. She talked about just her weight loss and like just life in general, her kid. Like, it was really great. I totally recommend it. But
cool.
I have to see how I can get it. We don't have Paramount Plus.
Did you do your free trial yet?
We have not.
Because then you can also watch Girls 5 Eva.
No, that's Peacock, I thought.
Oh, fuck.
I know. Everybody's in the game. Everybody's in the streaming game now.
I can't keep up. I never keep up.
Exactly. I'm waiting till they all start to like consolidate down and it's just like cable again.
And we're back to
TV.
Like,
right.
Yeah, right. Ugh.
As someone who works in TV, yes, come back to television. Let's bring you back around.
Also, speaking of rom-coms, we are going to do our Broadsgiving next week, November 23rd. Same Zoom link as always, so come prepared with what you are grateful for this year. If you've got any worthy charities, causes, anything that you want to promote, bring those too. But like I said, speaking of rom-coms, we are going to do our holiday movie episode. I think we're aiming to record it on December 12th. Let us know what you think we should watch.
Hooray.
And we're looking for like more of your like Netflix, Hallmark, Hulu type of movies. Not really so much the classics because we've watched the classics, but we are. Last year Amanda watched Die Hard, so clearly
that's true. I did watch Die Hard for the first time.
We're not super picky, but don't come at us with the Alistair Sims version of Christmas Carol. Yeah.
It would be new to me, and I thought about watching it for this year, especially since we started early.
Oh, we're absolutely going to rewatch it.
But then I was like, yeah, but it's not a Christmas movie. So.
It's a Christmas movie.
I can see why. I personally wouldn't consider it a Christmas movie, but I can see why people who love it do consider it a Christmas movie. So yeah, I do get it. It like walks this interesting line.
Shandy, if you watch it, at some point we're just going to rewatch it because it's on our rotation, like, Home Alone and Muppet Christmas Carol and all that. So you'll have somebody to talk about it with if you do watch it.
I would.
It was Love Hard that like made me think like maybe I should, but then I was like,
so that's on my list. I know you both have watched it.
I'm have 19 minutes left. Okay. We're like at the rising action.
You're seeing where
the writing's on the wall.
How this train is gonna land. Yeah.
Don't tell me, don't spoil me. Shandy and I watched Holiday. Can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta go back and rewatch it because I don't feel like I have fond memories of Holiday.
I think Shandy having recently watched it. I'm assuming you know which scene sold me on that movie for the rest of my life.
Oh.
The Halloween scene. It was after Halloween. Amanda, do you remember
the Halloween situation? Just like
the Halloween situation.
You literally see the wheels in my brain trying to work.
It involves poop.
There's a poop scene in that movie?
Yeah, she shits her pants and it's hilarious.
Very closely.
You definitely weren't. It's the moment where I was like, I'm in, this movie is the best.
Maybe I do need to go back and give it another try.
You should give it another try.
Yeah. And also, I mean, I do think a lot depends on context because I had just watched a movie that was an adaptation of a Harlequin novel. And it was just so bad that when the opening scenes of that, I was like, oh, people are actually acting.
These are real actors in this movie.
There are actually a lot of actors in that movie.
Yeah. It's Emma Roberts.
Mm-hmm. And
there were a lot of people that I thought were in other things that were not.
Right.
You kept telling me about the Boy Meets World. You were like, the guy from Boy Meets World. And I was like, I went to the cast list and I was like, did I miss Sean from Boy Meets World?
I was so convinced.
I was like, I really didn't actually watch this movie. I don't remember Sean being in this movie.
It was not. That was disappointing. And also, I realized afterwards he would have been like 20 years older.
Yeah. That's always a rough one.
But there was that chick from Grey's Anatomy.
All right. Before we go, talking about old, this was also a banner week for college-aged us. Which, I know, Shandy, you probably don't know anything of what I'm about to say, but, like, it was like fucking 2006 up in this shit last week. We had Taylor Swift released the 10-minute version of All Too Well, which is a really great song, and I love the 10-minute version of it. Then Britney was freed, and that was, like, crazy.
Free Britney! Freed Britney!
And then Paris Hilton got married, and it was right. And then, because we can't get left out, Lindsay Lohan announced that she's in a fucking, like, Netflix movie this year.
Her grand return to acting. With her
I would have never recognized her.
Oh, poor thing.
I know.
Girl does not look the same.
No.
Yeah, she does not look the same. The years have not been kind.
They have not. So.
Well, she just doesn't look like the same person.
No, she does not.
Like, and not like, she doesn't look bad.
She just doesn't look like herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because she's did a lot of drugs and I don't know, a lot of Botox. I don't know.
It's probably a little emotionally unstable, you know.
Yeah, that too. When does her movie come out? Because if it comes out before December, whatever, I'm going to watch it.
Let's find out, shall we?
I know. I'm trying to
the
see.
internet.
I know. I tried to quietly Google it.
I can't help you because I have a cat on my arm.
That's okay. It's an adorable cat.
Yes.
Sorry.
Did you guys watch that Norwegian series last year?
No, I'm going to watch it this year.
You spoke so highly of it. What was it
I would
called?
rewatch it.
Okay. I'm going. It's on my list.
Good.
It's on my list to watch this year.
Okay.
Yeah. What was it? I can't remember the title.
The movie?
I will add it to my list. The Norwegian thing. Oh, okay. Lindsay Lohan. A release date is yet to be confirmed, but Netflix has teased that it'll be sometime in 2022. We're guessing around Christmas. So next year. Next year's Christmas movie roundup.
All right.
For sure.
All right. Well, I think we all know in that case we're definitely going to get a Princess Swap number gazillion because Vanessa Hudgens is going to let...
Switch back one more time. Speaking of Vanessa Hudgens, Tick Tick Boom.
Is that Christmas?
She's going to... It's not Christmas, but it's theater nerd, like catnip.
Yes.
Looks very good. Very excited about it.
Apparently because that's the Jonathan Larson one, right?
That's the Jonathan Larson one. It's directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
That's right. That's right. Guys,
with, Andrew Garfield, who knew, could sing. I don't think there's anything he can't do.
I do love me some Andrew Garfield. All right, this is very tentatively going to last for 3 days until the weekend, but it's done. I can say I did it.
Hooray!
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, so next year we'll put I'll watch with Cord Overstreet. Who's that guy from again? Isn't he another
Glee.
one? What? Glee, that's right. That's right. He was one of those Glee douchebags. Cool.
Yes.
All right. Good times.
I sent you the Norwegian thing. It's called Home for Christmas. There are 2 seasons, but like 6 episodes per season.
Okay.
I hope that a 3rd one comes out. But
okay. So, before we move on into our feedback, how would you guys like to check in on No Nut November?
Let's do it.
So, essentially, I had to sit in church tonight. Long story. I was supposed to be sitting in there with Zachary, and then Zachary had a code red drill today, which is essentially like one of those active shooter drills. And he came home with a headache because he was, I guess, so like freaked out with it. I don't know. I don't know if he was freaked out or nervous, but like he must have been grinding his teeth because he said like his jaws hurt and he had a terrible headache. So that's my best guess. I don't know though. So again, it's easier to teach kids to hide under their desks than to just ban assault weapons. But that's cool.
But it just breaks my heart that they do that at that age because I don't remember doing that until high school because, of course, we are the Columbine generation.
Right, because we didn't have to. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I don't know where my phone is, but if my phone was somewhere accessible, it might be upstairs in my purse still, to be honest. It might be upstairs in my purse. Because I can tell you the email, like I can describe what the email said, like describing it.
Because, I mean, doesn't that honestly do more harm than good? Even like irrespective of the conversation about how we should get rid of the Second Amendment in the United States and it's all insane, regardless of that, don't these drills do more trauma to kids than good, like to quote unquote prepare them for the eventuality of such, like
maybe I mean I kind of wonder how different it is at a certain age than like a fire drill where you're like, this is fun, we're not doing classwork for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Versus like the older they
but
get.
Fire drills were fun because there was no real sense of danger and we did just kind of go outside and stand in the line for a while and then come back in. This is like, oh, okay, there's no real danger, but what we're pretending is that for what we're preparing for is somebody coming in here with a fucking gun and killing us all.
Right.
Okay, so
there's something that's inherently scarier about like stranger danger and a person that is coming to get you. Yeah. No, I totally see that.
So this is that the principal said during Code Red Drill, the Wake County Public School System security department works with us and local law enforcement to practice procedures designed to keep us safe during a threat as a part of emergency plans. If there's a potential threat or unsafe situation, the school may go on lockdown, go on lockdown, unquote, to protect students, staff, and visitors. If there's an immediate threat to the school, a code red lockdown will be issued. Students will be moved into safe areas, and all interior doors will be locked. When the incident passes, a code green will be declared ending the lockdown. So I'm wondering if, like, the doors and everything, like, the intensity of that maybe, like, stressed him out. I don't know. Or, you know, he's 7 and he's got crazy hormones going off, so maybe he just had a hormone headache like me. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, still sorry that he wasn't feeling well.
That's okay.
Yeah. Stress is not good for a 7-year-old.
I know. But that being said, I had to go to this religion meeting to find out about communion dates and all that, and I ended up without having to be a good a good example, a role model for Zach. I just sat there in the back of the pews with my phone out, checking out the Reddit to see what was up. In the subreddit, /jokes, found this great headline: "No Net November is going great so far."
It's very church appropriate.
Yeah, really, that's the only place you can read that.
But there was I had sent you guys the thread too. So the joke was, "No Nut November is going great so far. Every time I think about eating almonds, I just masturbate. It's not hard, guys. Get it? No Nut November. Masturbates instead of eating almonds." Okay, good. And then somebody replied in the comments, "If it's not hard while you masturbate, you're doing it wrong." And somebody responded with, so if you haven't gotten it, this whole thread is just people joking off of what, like, that main, like, one-liner.
Okay, Colleen, that's why I didn't understand this. It's because I don't understand Reddit.
No, I don't understand Reddit at all. That became very clear.
It does come in handy.
What am I looking at?
So then that person said, if it's not hard while you're masturbating, you're doing it wrong. And somebody else responded with, "It does come in handy, though." Good. And then somebody replied to him, "Mate, you're nuts. Let's not get cocky now." Somebody else responded with, "But I just think about almonds." Anyway, I thought that was kind of a fun little... It was fun while I was sitting in church. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
Hey.
Definitely.
Oh, good times. Thank you for coming to my church talk. There was also a really funny joke that I saw in the jokes one that I didn't send you guys. It was, "Did you hear about the cheese factory that exploded in France? There was nothing left but debris." If you made the same joke about the Swiss, it would still have holes in it.
Yuck.
Let me a good Larry joke.
Can you craft, Kraft, that into an American joke?
Ooh.
And then someone related, "Your comment is a really Gouda response."
It's a Gouda joke.
That's a cheesy joke. Another one. And then, let me see. "It blew, BLU. Blew up."
It's kind of sad that the American representative in that whole cheese joke conversation is Kraft Singles.
Well, it makes for a better joke than cheddar.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, the last one I was going to end on was, it doesn't get cheddar than that.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Nice. There you go.
Now I just want some cheese.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Oh, okay, one more. It blew cheese everywhere. All right, whatever. All right, let's take a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we can get into some feedback. And yeah.
Sounds good.
Great.
All right, we are back, and we're ready to get into some feedback. The first bit of feedback is from me. So Netflix knows me real well and sent me an email coming Wednesday, November 17th, the holiday movie Christmas Below. And I was like, fuck yeah. So the description is, oh, it's not a movie. It's a TV series.
Oh, yeah, look at that. It says series.
It says series. See, that was, well, I was looking at it on my phone the first time.
Oh my gosh, it kind of looks like Step Up, but like...
That's exactly, it looks exactly like Step Up, but like in a snow globe. So
Step Up, but like a bit more woke.
Yeah, it's a Gouda description. So what it says is, an unlikely Christmas romance blossoms between a famous rapper and a tenacious journalist. Anytime somebody uses the word tenacious, I'm like, this is trying to be Christmas Prince. But can they make it work despite their differences? They're in Los Aldovia. Just kidding. That's a terrible joke. I just wanted to say Aldovia. Aldovia. Did anybody catch the Aldovia? Oh, you didn't watch Christmas Night or Night Before Christmas. If you're looking for a fun, cheesy one, Night Before Christmas, add that one to your list. It's very much the Princess Swap, Christmas Prince kind of vibe. But I will warn you now, it's not as good as either of those. The first one, it's probably better than the second and the third Christmas Swap or whatever, Princess Swap. But
Swapped again.
Swapped again.
I didn't watch either of those last year, and I think I need to, so then I can watch the third one with you.
Yes.
Go back and finish the second one. I never finished the second one.
Oh, the second one's so bad, but so good at the same time.
I got like halfway through the introduction of blonde Vanessa Hudgens, and I was like, oh dear.
You haven't lived until you've watched blonde Vanessa Hudgens.
With her Cockney accent.
Oh, so bad. I should have just copied her.
We needed one more accent. We needed one more.
Dude, she's going to do generic European like Nadia this time around. I'm calling it now. And when we get Southern, just, straight up Southern twang Vanessa Hudgens.
Oh, if we can circle back, though, to Nadia for a minute.
Yeah.
I made it to the creepy doll. I get it now.
Oh, yay!
We're still going. It's still Halloween at our house.
Hey.
Oh, yes.
It's Halloween all the time. I'm in the middle of season 3. I'm at the one involving the cloak of whatever it's called with the girl from the gym. No. With the girl from the gym. So that's the one I'm up to. The cloak that makes them look like somebody else.
Oh,
cool.
That episode is amazing.
Yeah.
Just the acting is amazing.
Okay. I'm about halfway through. Which that shirt that Fallon tagged us in, I kind of want it. Nadia and Laszlo and Guillermo and Colin and not you Guillermo.
So good.
Nandor. That's it. It was like Nandor and Nadia and Laszlo and Colin, not you Guillermo. Oh.
No, poor Guillermo.
I know.
Gizmo.
Gizmo, I know. Yeah, no, I don't know. I want to say that I'll be done with it by next week, but I'm also, preparing to, clamp down hard on the holiday movies. So, my goal is...
It's a tough line to walk.
It's a tough line to walk. My goal is 2 each weekend. Because Tuesday I do this, Wednesday we have Survivor, Thursday I edit. So, really, my only days for watching are Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Anyway, good times. Yeah, so this, back to the Christmas flow. I mean...
flow on back.
To flow on back to the Christmas flow. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm excited.
I did have this thought that my, like, Netflix settings are gonna be all...
I know.
Like, out of whack now. Because
gonna be...
it's just, yeah, all Christmas all the time.
I know. I had screen capped a bunch of ones too. Like, I think I promised Jay that there's just another Christmas movie we could watch because it's another Groundhog Day like movie.
Oh,
and
nice.
He's into that shit. I'm also gonna check out the A Very Nutty Christmas, which is Melissa Joan Hart falls in love with a real life nutcracker.
Darn. I was kind of hoping it would be like about like squirrels or something.
I was still on like
No Nut November. Oh my god, that is a lost opportunity. That really, somebody needs to make like A Very Nutty Christmas. Really should have been about how, what is it, Dick's Out December or something.
Or it could be a Thanksgiving movie. I mean, there really aren't that many Thanksgiving movies.
Right? There should be
True.
A Very Nutty Thanksgiving where you spend all of November trying to get in the dude's pants.
Right? I mean, we're in the right month.
Oh my god. There's so many potentials with that. Yeah, A Very Nutty Christmas is just a very wasted opportunity for an awesome softcore porn Christmas movie.
Oh, definitely.
I'm sure that exists.
I'm sure. Yeah, you're right. Rule 37. It exists somewhere.
I wasn't expecting you to say that it was with Melissa Joan Hart, though, but I'm definitely here for that.
I know. I am too. And then there was another one which maybe I wrote down. I don't know. There's a whole bunch that I want to watch.
Home for Christmas.
I'm gonna do one for Christmas.
Absolute.
I'm gonna do one for Christmas. There's that Advent calendar Christmas one that Jay and I almost watched. And then the other one that I'm gonna watch is A Christmas Treasure with Jordan Sparks on Hallmark. The problem with the Hallmark stuff is, like, I found this list of, like, the Hallmark Christmas movies coming out. Like, The 9 Kittens of Christmas with Brendan Routh, who everybody knows is my celebrity crush. Brendan Routh, hello. But it doesn't come out until November 25th. And, like, everything seems to come out, like, where I guess we could watch it. There's one with Kelly Rowland, guys. Kelly Rowland has it's Merry Little Christmas Baby. And it's on Lifetime.
Oh my.
Yeah, so I guess Little is the franchise, like A Christmas Prince. But since I haven't evolved off of Netflix Hulu yet, I'm just learning this for the first time now. There's also one called Miracle in Motor City with Tia Mowry. Yeah, everything else is too late. That was the one bummer that I discovered with... the Hallmark stuff is, I guess this makes total sense that, Christmas at Castle Hart with Lacey Chabert, and I like her too, but it sounds like it's going to be terrible, but I'm going to love it. Doesn't she do a Hallmark movie every year?
I believe I've heard that. I actually have not seen that many Hallmark movies.
Me neither, which is why I didn't realize that a new one comes out with the same plot every single week. Okay, A Christmas Treasure was released on November 7th, 2021.
Okay.
Oh, I remember why I wrote this down. Okay, so we were going to watch this because it was 2021. And that's how we came up with we don't have the Hallmark channel. And I didn't have my parents' passwords. So I was like, Jay was like, well, let's just do this looks interesting. Let's just do the 1 week trial. And I was like, but if we're going to do the 1 week trial, we have like this 9 Kittens of Christmas movie, and I'd also like to watch that. So we should combine the 1 week trial with all of that. And that's why I wrote down A Christmas Treasure. Boom. Figured it out. Remember the mystery. Talked myself through it. Okay.
Interesting fact about Hallmark. Do you know they make Hallmark Christmas wine? I was
Yes, I did know
gifted
that.
2 bottles for Christmas last year. It was surprisingly tasty.
Really?
Yeah, I was shocked. I opened it to cook with it because I was like, Hallmark wine, this can't be good. I was surprised.
Wow.
It was tasty.
Good for Hallmark, I guess.
We're doing the 9 Kittens of Christmas, everybody. So prep your free trial for Hallmark. Plan accordingly.
Yep.
Done.
Comes out on Thanksgiving itself. Clearly.
Sounds like a good movie to maybe even watch, like, in that Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just saying.
For that week that I do it, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the Christmas Treasure and possibly Christmas at Castle Heart. We'll see. We'll see how we do. Anyway, sorry, not to get too distracted by my own feedback. That's like the definition of like Facebook narcissism.
It was an important reminder.
It's true. There's just so much out there. We really have to strategize what we're going to watch.
I know. I know. Just so much. And I'm sure this is just the beginning of our strategy session. Matt said, FYI, the new season of Big Mouth's premiere is called No Nut November, and SNL made a reference to No Nut November. I did catch the SNL reference to No Nut November, actually. And was like, oh, it is a thing. Yeah. I don't think we have a message she said this week, so do you want to just get into the feedback? We have an email?
Let's do it.
First email is from Vicky, and it's titled, Am I the Asshole?
Ah, thank you, because I didn't know what that abbreviation stood for. So.
I know. It's a Reddit thing.
Ah, see, I don't understand how Reddit works.
that's why I cued you in, because I knew you weren't going to know it.
Oh, you young whippersnapper, you gotta keep grandma here on top of things. This pop culture nonsense.
You know, I really got into Reddit while breastfeeding overnight with Zachary, because that was when, I've told this before, but that was when Serial was big. And I read through all of those stupid court records just during our overnight, because he was so sick all the time. We were just up, we never slept. We were just always awake.
You made good use of the time.
Yeah, sure, to become a Redditor.
All right, so yes, Vicky's email. Hey, broads. I recently found myself in a situation that finds me wondering if I was a jerk, but I figured I would put it up to you three in the style of one of the best subreddits. A couple months ago, I moved to the other side of the state for work, but was able to get a weekend off last month in order to attend a concert with my boyfriend. We got an earlier dinner in the city, then parked near the venue to meet up with some friends of mine who were also going to the concert. On the way there, I was scrolling through my phone and saw on Instagram that a friend of mine was going to be at a convention just a couple of hours away. I must have made a noise because my boyfriend asked what I was looking at. So I told him and explained how I wish I could see this friend because I hadn't seen him in a couple of years, but it wasn't feasible because I had to leave the next day to go back home. My boyfriend then starts asking a bunch of questions about if we talk a lot and how often we talk. I told him that we talk every now and then, but not on any set schedule or anything. I then asked if I would date this friend if I had the chance. I replied that I wasn't going to lie and that I had thought about it, but the friend in question has a girlfriend and I have a boyfriend as well. Him, the boyfriend. He tells me that I should go for it, quote unquote, despite my insistence that my friend has a girlfriend, lives in another part of the country, and it's not going to happen. I did ask him out 3 years ago, but nothing ever came of it because he wasn't feeling ready to date at the time. We then met up with my friends and he seemed to be messaging with someone and it appeared to be a little more withdrawn than usual. So I asked him if he needed to go outside for a minute to talk, but he said that he didn't. Later at the concert, he disappeared for about half an hour during the opening act, but said that everything was fine when he got back. Well, the last I have heard from or seen him was when he dropped me back off at my house after the concert. I've tried texting and calling him a couple of times with no response. The one time I called didn't go straight to voicemail. It rang once and then went to voicemail. At this point, it's been close to a month since we last spoke and have come to the conclusion that I've been ghosted. So at this point, I suppose my question is this. Am I the a-hole in this situation for telling him the truth when he asked about my friend? Or should he have either told me that he was mad/upset, or that he needed some space? Since he doesn't seem willing to communicate with me at all, should I assume that we're done? Vicky.
Yeah, he's the asshole.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
How long have you been dating? And it's like, at this point, do you want him to get back in touch with you? Because if these are his colors, I think you could do a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I don't understand the, a million questions in the first place because you have a friend. Like, he was literally asking for you to tell him that, and you were honest, and so he could either be a big boy about it or be a immature little piece of shit.
Like I can understand, feeling hurt to find out that you're not like the one and only or whatever. Like, that's a human nature thing, right? But like, to just completely ghost you and not talk about it with you and like get all pissy. Or
especially when he
I'm
asks.
sorry, like
exactly.
When like if I am talking, if I'm like imagining myself in this sort of situation, okay, dating someone, I don't know how long they've been dating, whatever, but I find out that person has a friend, I don't immediately go to, oh, do you want to date them? I go to, oh, cool, they're your friend. Like, maybe we can all hang out sometime.
Yeah, that's just such a bizarre question to ask unprompted.
Yeah, it is a super bizarre question to ask. Like, that's right. Like, at that basic level. Like, and okay, so all right, yeah, they asked it because whatever, they asked it. But like, again, to have that, like, I could understand feeling like shocked and hurt that you're not like the one and only and there's nobody else. Like, yeah, I can understand that. But to handle it the way that he handled it is, to me, super fucking immature. And, like, I'm sorry, but to not talk to you for a month, that's absolutely fucking ridiculous. That's ridiculous. You're not the asshole. He's the asshole.
Yeah, and if he ever does get back in touch with you, I would say, like, just maybe say thanks, no thanks.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and even if that was a deal breaker for him, he should have fucking conveyed that to you. Like...
But how can that be a deal breaker?
But it doesn't,
that at some point in your life you've had feelings for somebody else. Like, oh my god, absolutely. Shocker.
Right. It feels like a big old like nothing burger to be that upset about.
Absolutely.
It's all hypothetical.
Right.
And if he's going to be that jealous and paranoid about something so small, it's like, ugh. Yeah, red flags just all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like he has some very just like not healthy companion issues. And
But again, even if like to him that was, something that he didn't like, he has no right to treat you like that. You didn't do anything wrong by responding honestly. That is what a healthy person in a healthy relationship does, is respond honestly. And if he didn't like that, sure, that's his right as a human being to not like that, whatever. But he does not have the right to respond to you by just not responding to you, by just ghosting you. That's immature, that's stupid, that's bullshit, and yeah, you could do way better than that, and I wish that I had a cheese joke right now, but I'm falling short. He blue cheesed up your relationship.
Yes, on to the next one. Maybe be much better.
Exactly.
Indeed.
And should you assume that we're done because he doesn't communicate? He doesn't seem willing to communicate. I don't even think you should make the assumption. I should think that you should just decide yourself, we're done, because this is unacceptable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You should decide if it makes a difference if he's going to reach back out, because I feel like at this point I would be done.
Yeah.
If it were me.
Yeah. Because you're an awesome woman. You have accomplished so much, and you have so much to offer to any prospective suitor out there. Gouda suitor? Can I say she has a nice raclette? I don't know if she does.
Oh!
Ooh,
I think you just won the cheese game.
that was good. That was solid.
Can I call this episode a good raclette?
Yes. Yes.
I think it has to
People will
be
think
she
we're
has
just
a good
talking about
raclette.
food. Yeah, yeah.
I don't even know how to spell raclette, but I'll look it up.
Raclette.
R-A-C. Hold on. That is not what I went to. I went to an American spelling of with a Q-U-R-A-C.
Lette. I had, side note, for dinner tonight, I had some raclette cheese left over in my fridge from when we did a raclette. And I made it into a grilled cheese raclette sandwich with tomato
yes.
soup.
That sounds amazing.
I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So wait, do you guys have the like heating thing for the raclette? Where
You bet we do.
I would have. Where do you
right up
store such
there.
a thing? Because they're pretty
It's
big.
right there. It's literally right here.
The
This
thing
box.
that kind of that box that kind of
white
looks,
box.
It's like the size of what I imagine like a record player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where we store it, in the closet.
Hey,
Interesting.
it has a nice little spot there in the closet.
Yep.
It looks like it belongs there. It fits nicely.
It does. I've
It's
never
nicely
even
done.
noticed it. But I don't know what a raclette heater looks like, so I guess
It's like a big.
it looks like that.
It's like a T, and you kind of put the wedge of cheese on it, and then you tip it, and then
So that's like those are the super cool old fashioned ones.
yeah, like this. Okay, so what does that do?
This one is just it's
more
like more
moderate.
ovally shaped, and you can put stuff on top, but really it's about like in the middle area, and everyone has their own individual little raclette cheese holder that's about yay big for like a slice. And so at your own pace, you put in a slice and put it in to heat up, and then
Hey, is
Oh, that's
raclette?
fun. That's almost like a Korean barbecue kind of thing.
yeah, and it's
Oh, yeah, it is.
I think for 8 people.
Oh,
Hey,
fun.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is raclette expensive? Is it hard to?
I guess it depends.
Is it hard to acquire? I guess is a better question.
It depends. So sometimes around this time of year, you can get it at Trader Joe's, the raclette cheese.
Okay.
And I can't remember how much it is. It's probably more expensive than like other cheeses, but it's raclette, so it's I don't know.
Because my question.
It's not out of reach. And then for the
Okay.
potatoes are just potatoes, and then for the deli meats, like it depends what you get. Like if you want to get
Right.
if you're getting like prosciutto
Yeah.
di Parma, then it's going to be a little bit more expensive.
Right.
But if,
Okay. Yeah.
and you can also do it with vegetables.
I was gonna
Which
ask
is a
if
great
we
vegetarian option.
ever manage to all be in the same place again, May 13th, or whenever, could we make raclette if we all chip in or whatever, or order it in
Yes.
advance? Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'd
we
imagine
could.
if
I
you
mean,
went to any of,
Frank
like-
will go shopping for the provisions because he loves that. He will pick out everything.
Spectacular.
And then you'll have leftovers for like a couple of days because
More
he
spectacular.
always goes.
Awesome.
He goes more. Yeah, he goes big.
Deal.
Perfect.
But
We
back
just
to
gotta get
Vicky.
you a little. It will be delicious.
Yeah, I imagine that probably can't put that in carry-on.
Yeah. We can get it here, yeah. Or we can ship it here.
We'll just order you one. It's not that expensive, actually.
Okay. Or, I mean, I could also order my own. I just have no idea where you would acquire such and blah, blah, blah. But if it's a Trader Joe's thing, then yeah, let's do it.
Or like any like fancy like cheese, the cheesemonger, the cheese counter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So we there's a cheese shop here called the Cheese Shop. That is pretty amazing and has like so many different kinds of cheese, and so we can get it there too. And it's always really good from there, but it's like more expensive. And the stuff from Trader Joe's actually really isn't bad.
Okay.
And it's like pre-sliced, which is convenient and whatever.
Trader Joe's
yeah.
has a solid cheese selection.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, but like in May, they probably won't have it. I think they do it seasonally. For,
Okay.
like, the winter.
So would we have to go like find it now and freeze it, or?
You can freeze it.
Okay.
You might be able to order it online too. Like if you check like Murray's or like one of those places, you might be able to order it and have it shipped.
But also,
Okay.
I'm sure that Raleigh, like if we have a cheese shop that sells,
Oh, yeah,
raclette
I'm
cheese,
sure
I'm sure
Raleigh-
Raleigh probably
Yeah.
would have something.
We do have a lot of different like ethnic-y kind of shops. So All right. We'll cross this bridge when we come to it. Back to Vicky. Nice raclette. That can lend any other man.
You're doing fine, girl. You're doing fine.
Yep.
Yeah, and like, fuck
bye,
this
Felicia.
guy. Like,
yep, bye, Felicia, indeed.
Bye, Felicity. Watch Holiday.
So good.
But yeah, Vicky, let us know what happens. We are here for you. Message us if you're ever like in a tight bind and need some like immediate assistance. We're on call for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I guess we'll finish up with a This Week in Andy listening to bad fiction.
All right. Andy writes in, hey, broads. Not much to report these days. I have to imagine it'll be pretty quiet in that regard during the holidays, but we'll see. I would highly recommend checking out Behind the Bastards' multi-part takedown of Ben Shapiro's one foray into fiction writing, his 2017 magnum opus, or dopus, if you prefer, True Allegiance. The book is basically a 24 ripoff with the main character, a stand-in for Ben, only as a 6-foot-tall muscular badass, trying to basically fight everything Ben complains about. Seriously, the book is 300 pages, and there are like half a dozen plots going on at the same time. Even though the character is married, you can tell Shapiro is so uncomfortable writing scenes where they show any affection to each other. For example, their cute little phrase they say to each other is, "Take a bullet for you, babe."
It doesn't get more right-wing than that. Oh, sweet Jesus.
Anyway, I found this site that compiled all the episodes in a row. They read this over the course of 2020 and some of 2021, so you can get the full impact of Ben's inability to write a proper sentence, throw in minority characters to prove he's not racist, and to fail completely to serve any political messages he's going for. If you need some Thanksgiving listening, here's the link.
Oh,
that's more than enough about him. Hope things are well as we head into the holiday season, and I'll try to think of something profound today for next week's Broadsgiving. Hashtag 5 years with hers, Andy.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Now it makes so much more sense why Ben Shapiro hates wet pussies. And you know, after fucking Rush Revere came out, Ben Shapiro was like, I have to write this book.
That's right. Oh my God. I didn't know the book existed, and I also did not know that this podcast existed, but that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of, is there a Bad Sex and Fiction award this year?
I think so.
Oh, I hope
see
so.
that they were coming back after a 1-year hiatus? I believe so, right?
Okay. I hope
believe
so.
that was the plan.
Because I'm going to be really upset if we don't get to read Bad Sex and Fiction.
I think we will.
Because we did the greatest hits last year, so we don't have more greatest
exactly.
We
hits.
can't do that again.
No, we sure can't.
We need some fresh prose.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't find it. Somebody's going to have to know about this. Okay, it's just all 2020 articles, so I feel
Doesn't
like that...
it come out in December?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
So maybe that's why we can't find it yet.
Okay. Let me just Google, are the Bad Sex in Fiction Awards happening in 2021?
In 2020, they said it would return in 2021.
Yeah, that's what I see too. Okay, and there's been no release of not having them.
Yeah.
No release of not having them. Ha ha ha. No press release.
I love how last year they said Bad Sex Awards were canceled as public exposed to too many bad things in 2020.
Oh my God, amazing. Hold on. I'm going to say excerpts from Ben Shapiro's... What's the name of this book? M. Shapiro's True Allegiance book.
True Allegiance.
Yes.
bad excerpts. Because you know Goodreads is going to have something. It's always a good show when we can end with Ben Shapiro.
I can't remember where, but I saw a joke somewhere, heard a joke online, I think, somewhere, referencing like him not liking wet pussy. And I was just like, I feel so happy that I get that joke. Thank you, Colleen.
So on Goodreads, it only has 2.75 stars, which I don't know what that means, but I don't think it means good. And you know how they have like the most popular like questions? It's kind of like, you know, the ones that are like, you know, upvoted the most. And the first one is, "Hi, am I able to read this if I've surpassed a 4-year-old's reading level?" And then the second biggest comment is, "Will this book destroy me with facts and logic?"
Obviously.
And someone to reply to the comments to that comment is, "No, it will murder you with facts and logic."
It will take a bullet for you.
Take a bullet for you.
The third most popular one is, "Sometimes the quotes on a book manage to adequately insult the book far better than you could ever hope to." Ready for this quote? "Meet our new Ayn Rand. Salon.com.
Oh no.
What the hell am I supposed to say to top that? Nothing. That's what." Somebody else, "Why do I keep doing this to myself?" Does it have anything higher than, like, surely there's a 5-star. Oh, here's a 5-star. Okay, you ready? This is by somebody named Corey J. Smith, and it's from October 26, 2016. I believe it's the only 5-star review. "I found the book refreshing. It tied many political topics into one book with interesting stories for each character's part, tied together well too. I enjoyed the focus on each side and how each character managed about their own decisions. I really enjoy Ben Shapiro, his views, his factual books, and now his first fictional read. I feel he'd do great writing an alternative history piece. Thanks for the read."
Ugh.
Alternative history? Is that like...
Alternative facts, alternative
facts?
history, yeah. It's kind of like what he has been doing for the last, however many years, 6 years. And what this review doesn't tell you is that, spoiler alert, Corey J. Smith is also his wife.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I think that that about sums it up, as does the very last review on page 1 of the 5 pages of reviews, which is "Terrible writing from a terrible racist writer." The end. Mic drop.
Sums it up.
Pretty much.
Sums it up. I went to the very last page and somebody gave it a 3-star, saying that they're a Shapiro fanboy, but it sucked.
At least they're honest.
Wow.
All right, moving on. Thanks for that one, Andy. We appreciate it. Looking forward to...
Yes.
Yeah. And to everybody out there, we are now looking forward to the Bad Sex and Fiction Awards. And you know what? I think I'm going to try to find like a free version of True Allegiance and pull out the sex stuff. No, I won't. It took me 4 years to read an actual book, which I did yesterday. I'm good. I'm not going to waste my time on this. Anyway, on that note, everybody, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. We hope that you will join us for Broadsgiving on Tuesday, November 23rd. And that's going to probably be one of those episodes that doesn't get a lot of editing for the sake of like getting it out like the next day. So those are always fun. But like we said at the beginning of the show, come prepared to let us know what you're thankful for this year and any giving-related topics that you might have. Let us know. Holiday movies, December 12th is our day that we're shooting for. we're trying to figure out a day that we could do our last episode of the year. It would have to be either I don't know, we're going to figure that out. But yeah, so the end of the year is such a great time in general. Oh, so many fun things. So yeah, join us. What was I going to say?
Patrons?
Patrons! Thank you. Yeah, we'll let you know. Thank you to the patrons, especially the patrons that contribute a certain level. That'd be Eckhart, Attack from Tokyo, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with the Plan, and Ed, the poopy head mailman, as Zachary has now designated him.
Oh, okay.
So Ed wrote into the speaking of patron stuff, the patrons bonus we do for Survivor JJC every week. Zachary had asked, why do you call Ed the creepy mailman? And Ed wrote in and said, it's a joke, like you call your mom poopy head mommy. And he said, you can call me whatever you want. You can be cool mailman, cool mailman, creepy mailman, poopy head mailman, whatever you want. So Zachary was like, at the end of the episode, he goes, Ed the cool poopy head mailman. And I was like, all right, I feel you. And then after we stopped recording, he wanted to hear the show. So the next day I played it for him in the car on the way to, he had a teacher, whatever. I played it for him on the way to camp in the car the next day. And I said, you can just call him the poopy head mailman. He said you could. You don't have to add cool in. And he's like, no, I don't want to be mean and hurt his feelings by just calling him a poopy head. I wanted to know that he's cool for saying I could call him a poopy head.
Very thoughtful.
My very sweet soul. My very sweet soul.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you, Ed, the creepy poopy head mailman. Drop the cool. Keep the creepy.
Cool. The cool.
You're a Gouda sport. It doesn't get cheddar than that. On that note, everybody, thank you for joining us. We love your feedback. If you have any questions like Vicky had, you can write us in or anything else, thebroadcasters3@gmail.com, or give us a call, 331-276-2373. If you're listening to this episode a little early, it's because it's Ghostbusters night on Thursday, so I can't edit, so I've got to figure out some kind of form of editing beforehand to post this, I don't know, before that, because we're going to go see Ghostbusters on Thursday, which takes away from my editing time, because I don't know, there's never enough time. If this is late, blame Jay. It's because we went to go see Ghostbusters, and I lost my editing time. However, I'm sure it was fantastic.
You're going to do something fun.
Yes.
I mean, that'll be a good time.
Exactly. And my father-in-law, Jerry, is coming this week, too. So Jay is super excited that he's going to go get to see Ghostbusters with his dad. And then we rented out a theater for Saturday. I'm bummed. Oh, Elena's coming, which is awesome. All right. Anyway, on that note, everybody, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
I can't tell if it's a baby or a kitty.
Oh, it's a baby.
Baby.
Okay. All right, well then, everybody, let's go. Let's go, go, go.